welcome to our fourth session, and today we've been asked to explore, as a taster session, the subject of fear. And there's a lot to be fearful of right now, or is there?
I think some people in this COVID crisis have quite enjoyed the time to just be on their own, but for a lot of people there are fears associated around it, even if they themselves aren't afraid of this situation. Maybe they're afraid of change, or maybe they're afraid of isolation, or maybe they're afraid of things that they can't see. And let's face it, you can't see this virus, can you?
No. The impact of fear is very noticeable for some people. And as we talk about how we react and respond to fear, I think that's really important, because fear can either motivate and activate people to do something, or it has done for me in the past, as it has done for you.
Yeah.
Or it can actually have a negative impact and neutralise us, sort of stop you and shut you down. So I'm just curious the impact that fear has, and how we can help ourselves journey through something. I was thinking earlier on where Adam, before sin separating from God, his identity was connected to God. And then when sin happened, he was separated. And in the Garden of Eden, when God said, Adam, where are you? God was looking for him, but it was his fear and it was his shame that separated him, because he didn't want to respond to God looking for him. And when we've said on our taster days, on our taster sessions, of how do we invite God into something, when we're little, if our significant caregiver is a kind, good caregiver, then when we're little and we're afraid, that's the first port of call we go to, isn't it?
We do.
We take our fear to the person that we are most safe with.
Yeah.
And
that was the case for Adam, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Until that point, Adam had never experienced fear, and suddenly he found himself in a position where the person he should have gone to and wanted to go to, really, he was separated from for the very first time ever. And so he hid and stayed in shame, and we live the consequences of that today, really, don't we?
So when we're looking at fear in the natural, because it is a natural fear to be afraid of a virus that could kill you.
Yeah.
How do we protect ourselves from that? Well, we do what the government has said, and we wash our hands, we social distance, we clean and sanitise things with antibacterial lotions and sprays and wipes, and we wear masks. So we do all that is possible to do within our power to do.
Mm-hmm.
And being able to, in that, I think, come to that place of peace. But actually, for those that actually, Scripture talks about death, where is your sting? So is the sting fear? And when we're talking about COVID, ultimately that's what we're afraid of, aren't we? We're afraid of being ill, and we're afraid of death.
And we're afraid of making someone else ill.
Yeah.
And then consequently them dying. And I think for me personally, that's my bigger concern, that I would pass it on to somebody who hasn't got the defences to be able to handle it. And so I think there's a real sense for me that I need to do all that I can do, but not live in fear of it. Otherwise the virus controls me.
So is there a difference in being fearful and being afraid?
I think there is. I think there's a very big difference. I think when we are afraid, it consumes us, and it becomes the very thing we focus on. And that's why so often in Scripture an angel might appear or whatever and say, do not be afraid. First words out of their mouth, they appear to Mary, don't be afraid, Mary. And if Mary had focused on the fear she felt because of this big angel or supernatural experience or whatever, then she would never have focused on the fact that God was with her. And that, for me, is the thing that I've had to focus on during this, that God is with me. He never goes anywhere else. He's here. He said he would be, and he is. And so in that sense, I can focus into him and not let the fear consume me. Yes, I need to be wise, but not consumed by it.
So there's an awareness of what we want to share, of acknowledging that actually